Okay, so good afternoon, Monae.
Monae.
Monae. Monae, what a artistic name.
Thank you. Yeah.
So, Monae is here. You just passing by San Francisco?
No, I'm hoping to start work in San Francisco.
Ah, okay.
Hoping to move here, hopefully by the end of the year.
Ah, so you got a contract?
Soon. I have a couple different contracts or at least a couple different leads.
So it's good to be in the city then?
Great to be in the city. This is actually my favorite place to be out of all of the places that I've traveled to.
Oh, yeah. I heard there's so many construction projects here, so this is ideal for you.
Oh, yeah. Lots of different construction projects, from residential to commercial to nonprofit.
It's everywhere you see, how do you call it, the cranes and everything.
Oh, yeah. Big projects going up in the city, but also there's the minor projects, like just a simple home remodel, or someone wants a new garden in their backyard, or new public works projects
Okay.
that are put onto the city.
So I just want to first give a little bit of background about you. You've been in this industry for how long?
Going on 3 years.
Okay. So you're
Still very new.
Very new compared to other older companies?
Yes, yeah. My company actually just opened in March of 2022.
Okay.
Before that, I was working for a different company that specialized in design, art design, and restoration.
Okay.
I was a project manager for them, worked for them for a little over a year, taught myself everything I know, and then
you decided to go on your own?
decided to go on my own.
Oh, this I guess it takes a lot of courage because you're still very young and it's a big leap.
It is a huge leap, big responsibility. There's a lot of different moving pieces, a lot to learn. This is my first business that I'm building on my own. Yeah. But I do have a lot of mentors who are helping me out and advising me through the whole process.
Wow. No, I can understand that maybe you don't sleep well at night if you don't know where your next project is going to come from.
It definitely is stressful, for sure, not knowing where my next project is. I have a few projects that are actually currently underway now.
So you're okay for a while?
I'm okay for a while, at least for another year. But now is about the time where
you look for future projects?
Yes, and I'm hoping my future projects are here in the San Francisco.
Okay, especially by the Embarcadero where all the construction's happening and everything.
Either where all the construction is happening, or there's some new projects, some new opportunities as well. I've been trying to network with as many professionals as I possibly can to see where the city is planning to go. Oh, and
you can check with City Hall.
Yeah, I actually did.
You did, okay.
I met with someone at San Francisco Planning Department.
Right.
And they told me that there's new opportunities coming in the downtown area. There's also lots of different art opportunities through the San Francisco Art Commission.
Wow. Okay, that sounds good. But, since you don't work for the city, or you won't have a contract directly with the city, you have a contract with the separate entities that are planning to do the job.
Yeah. So essentially, I contract with property owners.
Okay.
So it could be a private residence, or it can be a business building owned by a company, or it could be a city-owned property and they want to install something.
It could be owned by the city.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So if the city say, we have a few things coming up, then they'll take you in as a contractor.
Independent contractor, or I could be a subcontractor to
a big project.
A big corporation, general contractor that's already has a contract with the city. So I would come in to assist them, either the property owner, so the city, or the general contractor with managing the project. So things like communications, coordinating project teams, making sure everyone sticks to the timeline, sticks to the budget as well, because that's super important, and sticks to the scope. Scope creep is a real issue in construction, as well as delays, and the budget can just keep rising as the project continues.
Okay, I quickly, like I said, looked through your LinkedIn profile, and I really got misled because it says community involvement, and I didn't think about construction at all originally. So can you explain to us what you mean by community involvement?
Yeah. So my company is based out of Fresno. Like, that's the mailing address for the company, but I work across all of California. So I have projects in Southern California and Central Valley, hopefully in Northern California, San Francisco specifically soon. And in each city that I work in, I use the local contractors, local artists, local landscapers, local general contractors.
Okay.
So the community is involved in the projects that are going on in their own city. So they have the jobs rather than me pulling in my own team from either out of state or out of the city, bringing them in and, building whatever we had planned in that city.
Okay, so let's say you have a project that's far from the downtown. Do you make sure that there's a coffee shop there or while they work, or do you make sure there's a food truck? Is that part of your job?
Not necessarily, but I do make sure that if they are working far from home, that they have accommodations wherever they're working. So let's say we have a project in Pleasanton, but I'm using a team that's based out of San Francisco. I would make sure that they have accommodations over in Pleasanton to carry out their
accommodation work. Is more important than the food. I don't know. I mean, as a project manager, they're both equally important.
The accommodations, as in
no. When you do the planning, do you make sure there's not only accommodation but also restaurants?
I do, actually. Yeah. That's actually something that I've encountered previously. A contractor was coming in, an artist was coming up to a city in the Central Valley, Visalia.
Okay.
She wanted to make sure that wherever she stayed, there was a grocery store nearby, a restaurant nearby.
So you had to look?
Yes, I did have to look to make sure that they were totally taken care of wherever they stayed.
Oh, okay. So you can also make accommodation for other ways to deliver food. Like now, there's all kinds of ways to have food.
So Uber Eats, DoorDash. Usually we include a stipend in their contract
for the food.
Yeah, and
nice.
the accommodations as well. So that's in the case that they would be coming from out of.
I don't know how far Uber Eats goes. Travels, but it's good to find out. I mean, you'll find out how far they go.
Oh yeah, of course.
So how did you get involved in this? I mean, it sounds like more like I don't know, like something with construction that they wouldn't imagine it would be with you kind of thing.
I had no idea that this is where my life was going to head.
Really?
Yeah, I actually went to school to be a veterinarian, fun fact. Yeah, completely different. Yeah.
Yeah, and you ended up doing this?
Yeah. So I had a bit of a career shift after I graduated college. I worked in the field for a year, found out veterinary medicine just wasn't for me. So I started looking around to see what other opportunities were available.
Okay.
I ended up getting a job with a small business photography company that does dog show photography.
No kidding.
Super niche, but it was a fantastic experience.
Oh, but you didn't do photography, you did something else.
Yeah, I did all of the business management for this photographer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I started off doing just account management, so client communications, making sure people were, paying their bills or invoices. Then I moved into finances completely, so managing the business finances, not just the front end invoices. And then from there, I moved into file management, marketing, digital web design. I think that's about it.
Okay. So you did a little bit of everything to support the photography company?
Yeah. Aside from just the basic administrative work of
billing,
emails, sending out hard copy photos or digital photos. So I went from just administrative work with this company to managing the company.
So you learned project management?
Business management.
Oh, it's called business management. Okay. And then from there, you took it to a different industry, which is where you found a job in construction.
Yeah. So my next job was with a art restoration and design company.
Okay.
They were based out in Pennsylvania, and they had projects nationwide.
So you went there?
No, actually, I worked here in California. I worked remotely for them.
Oh.
Yeah, I managed their projects here in California.
Oh.
So they were the ones who hired me on as a project manager and taught me pretty much everything I know about project management.
That's awesome. You didn't have to take a class?
It was pretty much a
on the job.
Full-time class on the job. So they took me from zero knowledge of project management to being able to manage multi-million-dollar projects.
Wow. That's awesome of them.
Yeah, it was a wonderful opportunity.
And you still do contract with them when you need to?
I haven't yet, but yeah, I could do that.
You could solicit them.
I could, yeah. But right now I'm keeping all of my projects in California.
Because you want to move here? Or you want to stay in California?
I do want to stay in California. Eventually, once my business grows big enough, maybe I could do nationwide projects.
Okay.
But right now, I'm just keeping it focused to California.
Yeah, California actually is, I think, the richest state in the United States. I mean, per capita of number of millionaires, we have the highest. So you must have a lot of homeowners, a lot of projects going on because there is money here.
There is a lot of money here. There's a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah. So do you look at people's strength in terms of revenue before you even approach them?
Client-wise or?
Client-wise.
Not generally. I would. It really depends on how big the project is.
Okay.
If they're proposing a $1 million project and they don't have that high of a net worth, then definitely not going to go that route. But I haven't encountered that issue yet.
Okay.
Usually whenever I'm approached by a prospective client, they have a pretty good idea of what their budget is and they present that to me and I work with that.
Okay.
But
you say you changed career. Do you like this new career?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
I love it. This is, honestly, I feel like this is what I meant to do.
No kidding. No, also construction is an industry where you can meet a lot of men. That's good. On a women's standpoint, because, there's a lot of industry where you don't meet as many men, like retail, whatever. But anyway, that's a good industry to be in.
I believe so as well. Women are actually, more and more women are entering the industry.
The construction
industry, yeah.
Okay.
I've been meeting several female project managers, several female business owners as well, who operate in construction or landscaping as well.
Things are changing, I guess.
Things are definitely changing, and I personally think it's for the better.
Yeah, sure. So this sounds like you found maybe, at least for the next 5 years, what you want to do.
Oh, yeah. I'm very passionate about it. I knew from when I was first getting into college that I wanted to own my own practice, at least. I had dreams of owning my own veterinary veterinary
Oh,
hospital.
from the beginning you want to be self-employed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
But things just kind of shifted when I moved away from the vet med field, and
Okay.
now I'm living the dream. I'm owning my own business. I'm operating my own business.
Is it lonely to be alone? I mean, to be on your own?
No, actually, I'm very involved in the community. I'm very
Oh,
involved.
you get
with
out of the
projects.
office a lot, or?
Oh yeah. I'm constantly traveling to all of my different projects.
Okay.
I'm constantly talking with all of the different contractors I work with.
Okay, so you get out of the house.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I would be able to do it all on my own either.
So let's get back to square one. You say you involve the community, but you do mostly everything yourself.
I do all of the project management myself.
Right.
So when I say I involve the community,
Once you get the contract from the person building, they give you the job of doing the management.
Yes.
And then you're on your own.
It's my job to then bring in all of the contractors who will actually build the project.
Oh, okay. And then you try to get people local around the project.
Yeah. So for example, let's say a business wanted to expand on their current office building. They
Okay.
wanted to add a
Maybe
patio
a
in the
patio.
back,
Okay.
on the property for their employees to
Oh.
spend their lunches.
Oh.
So
you found the gardener.
Yeah, I found the gardener. I found the nursery that would supply the plants. I found the
Carpenter.
carpenter. I found the landscaper. I found the business that would provide all of the furniture.
All locally.
All local. Yes.
And one refer you to the other, or you have to do a little bit of search?
I do what's called a bidding process. So I send out a bid package to all the local contractors in the area,
Okay.
Outlining the project, showing them all the drawings, showing them the scope of the work, the budget we're working with, and ask them to submit a proposal for the project. Usually I try to solicit 3 different contractors per project item. So if we have a landscape deliverable, I would bring in 3 prospective landscapers, ask them to submit a bid, and my client would decide which one to go with.
Oh, really? So by looking at the paperwork? So it's not just based on the bid. It's also based on other factors.
Yeah. So
Number of referrals, number of stars maybe for their work.
yeah, I usually try to vet them myself before going out and asking
Okay,
them to
there's
submit a
probably a
proposal.
website where you can rate the contractors.
Yeah, Google, Yelp, their own website, word of
And
mouth.
then the Diamond directory, Diamond.
Oh, I didn't know about Diamond.
Yeah, Diamond is a directory of contractors that have good ratings.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. I've just been using Yelp and Google reviews.
Oh, that too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so you think those are reliable enough for you?
Yeah, Yelp is very reliable. They only keep the reviews that were done by their actual customers or clients. Yelp has a whole sorting process that if a business profile on there purchased reviews from an outside provider, Yelp would actually flag that account and block them.
Oh.
Yeah, so Yelp does their own sorting and vetting as well.
And what's the second source?
Google reviews.
Oh, Google reviews. Oh, I never look at that one that much. I mean, they're not. I'm sure they are popular. Yeah.
Yeah, they're easy to search. Usually, they have some number of reviews from people who've worked with them previously. Also, their own personal websites. So a landscaper could have reviews on their website or references on their website that have also vetted them as well.
So you're not actually paid by the hour, you're actually paid by the project.
Also depends on the project. So if it's a multi-million-dollar project, I have a flat fee. But if it's a very small project, only a simple garden or someone wants a pond in their backyard.
It could be hourly?
It could be hourly, yeah.
Okay.
So it depends.
But is it true that a big project or a small project take as much time?
No.
No?
No. Small projects definitely takes less time than a bigger project.
Oh, okay.
A bigger project is going to take approximately... you want to go ahead and get that?
Sorry about that. I thought I turned it off. Maybe when I placed it, it got turned back on.
Maybe.
Yeah, that happens. This is the glitches of maybe the construction business. Okay, so...
larger project typically is going to take longer. It's going to have a bigger budget, more deliverables, more people to work with, so larger teams, more moving parts. So it's going to take a lot more time on my end to manage everything and make sure everything's running smoothly.
Okay. So whether it's small or big, it does make a difference.
It does, yes. Yeah.
Okay. And who helps you? I mean, I know you're self-employed, but somebody must help you.
Oh, yeah. Yes. So on my end, I actually do have an assistant.
Oh, okay.
They're outside contractor as well.
Virtual assistant?
Virtual assistant, yeah.
Yeah.
So she helps me do all of my digital file organization, photo editing for all of the reports that I need to do. She transfers my meeting notes into a digital format. So she takes care of all of the project coordination, pretty much.
Okay, and are these virtual assistants reliable?
Oh, yeah, yes. I went through an interview process just like anyone would for hiring an assistant.
Someone?
Yeah. And I'm just not big enough yet to hire someone on like full time in addition to myself.
Okay.
So
because online there's so many virtual assistants, whether they are in Sri Lanka or India, whatever. It's better if you're construction to hire someone who knows the business in America.
Yeah, it's definitely better for trade positions to hire people in America in the city that you're working in, because they'll know the city code, they'll know the state code.
They already know also how to communicate in English. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes, definitely. But for administrative work that I do or need for my business, I can work with anyone. So anyone who has a computer and internet access.
So you have two types of assistants?
I have two types of, I guess, teammates. One who works with me on my business, in my business.
Oh, your own business?
My own business, yeah.
And one who would be the virtual assistant for that particular project?
No, just the contractors for that particular project.
For the contractor, you can hire a virtual assistant.
Not necessarily. So within my own business, I have an assistant.
Okay.
And then for the projects that I work on, I hire on outside contractors for that.
Oh, so you can present it with your billing.
Kind of.
They can bill the contractor.
The contractor will bill my client.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't think.
Oh, okay. The contractor will actually hire that client who is going to assist you.
Yeah, the client would hire the contractor who's going to assist me on the project.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And you do your own thing.
I do my own thing.
With your own accounting, your own taxes, whatever.
Yeah. That's what I use my assistant for.
All right, that makes sense. So there's a lot of things to track the business of the contractor and your business.
Yes.
Don't mix.
Oh yeah, and then there's a whole new animal called marketing that I'm also trying to.
You
get
cannot
into.
commingle too.
No. No, they're all different
Budgets.
departments, pretty
And
much.
different budgets.
Yes. So there's the contract budgets for all the projects that I work on.
Okay.
And then there's my own business budgets that I work with and have everything to do with business.
Yeah.
And then there's marketing for trying to go out and get more projects for the business as well.
I know it is. I know it's a stupid question, but do you get paid in advance or after?
I usually get paid monthly
As the project moves along?
as the project moves along.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that works that way. Is
Well,
it standard to do it that way?
It's standard for service providers to do it that way. So project managers, construction managers, they usually bill monthly or in increments, regular increments.
But the project could be just 1 month, right?
The project could be just 1 month. Project could be several years.
Oh, you don't want too long, right?
Yeah, don't want to wait too long. But as for the contractors who provide the various deliverables, like let's say a nursery wanted to provide the plants, they would be billed all at once they provide the plants. Let's say an artist is providing a sculpture.
So he might take longer.
He's going to take longer for sure. He'll most likely have a payment plan.
As he advances in the sculpture.
Yeah, so he'll want, let's say, half of the contract value, so 50%.
Little by little until he finishes.
Yeah.
I mean, living expense at least, right?
Living expenses, yeah, he needs his living expenses covered, but he also needs the initial materials covered for the project.
That's right. That must be very expensive too.
He has to purchase whatever material the sculpture is going to be made out of, whether that's wood or resin or stone. And then he has to purchase all the materials in order to carve it or
And the
paint it.
tools and oh, that's really, really complicated. So you talk to these people, let's say the sculptor, and you find out what are his needs now, and then based on that you make a planning to pay him.
Yeah, he actually would come up with his own payment plan. So
he's gonna send you a proposal.
yeah. So in the proposal, he would come up with how he's going to complete the work, the materials he's going to use or the methodology, how much he's going to charge for the work, and how he would like to be paid.
And how long the project is going to take.
Yeah, timeline as well.
Oh, okay. And then who makes the decision to take him, you or the contractor?
My client.
The client,
Yeah.
okay.
So the property owner.
Your opinion of him does matter or does not?
It does.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. So I would go out and vet all of these and search for all of these different contractors. So in the same example as a sculptor, I would go to 3 different studios that provide sculptures, and I would check out their work, see the quality of it, how much they would charge, because I'm pretty much my client's advocate. I want to maintain their budget as best as possible. So I search for sculptors who would provide us a final product within our budget and will provide us a final product that's good quality too.
So you look at previous work maybe? Yeah. So it is time consuming to look at all these things, all these factors. I mean, all these criteria.
Oh yeah, very time consuming. But I see it as one big puzzle.
Exactly. It's a big puzzle.
It's a big puzzle.
The pieces and then one block. The other pieces and then one block.
Yeah. And then once you finally see the final product, once it's fully completed, fully installed, it makes it all worth it.
Oh, and then you have a big celebration, a big party.
Big celebration. We try to involve all the people who put everything together, delivered the final product, and congratulate everyone on doing a job well done.
Oh, yeah, that's great. I mean, it must be like a sense of accomplishment once it's done.
Yes, very, very much so. So one of the projects that I completed recently was an installation of 14 different wood carvings.
Okay.
All of these were hand carved out of, I believe it was oak, and hand painted as well. And they were 4 4 feet wide by 5 feet tall, all 14 of them, and they had figures in each one.
Okay.
So it was a very long process to plan it all out, decide the designs, and then actually fabricate them, get them delivered, and then install them. And once you get all of that done and you see the final product, it's
rewarding.
It's very rewarding.
And you have to check every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You do. Okay.
I do, and I get my client's approval every step of the way too.
Oh, okay. So that if you have to do all these things, that could take more than 8 hours a day sometimes, no?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not only project management, it's also business management and now marketing management as well.
Oh, you market the project too?
I market my business.
Oh, your
services.
business. Okay.
Yeah. So going back to what we had talked about previously about not being able to sleep at night if I don't know where my next project's coming from, that's where marketing is coming into play.
Oh, then and then do you ask other project manager what they do for marketing, or now? I
do, yeah. So I go to several networking events a month and talk with other project managers, other property owners, and other general contractors, and kind of pick their brains a little bit to see exactly how they're doing it and how well they're doing as well, and what kind of projects they're working on.
Nice. So. Is there on LinkedIn a group for project managers? Mm-hmm. There is? So you can communicate with them if you have a question.
Oh, yeah. People are usually very friendly, very welcoming, and very happy to offer their advice as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm sure you're a member. I mean, you don't have to be a member. You just join the group and the group manager accepts you or something like that.
What I usually do is I follow a page.
Okay. And then if you like it, then you become a member.
On LinkedIn, you don't necessarily need to become a member.
You join the group.
You join the group. You follow the page, and then you see how many people are also following the page.
Okay.
And you can engage with them as well.
Okay.
But that's digitally. I'm also.
But the guy the person who managed the group has to accept you.
Yeah. So an example would be like a Facebook group for construction.
Okay, there is such a thing too, Facebook? Facebook I thought was just friends.
No, actually Facebook is becoming pretty popular for businesses as well as associations.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And different industries as well.
I didn't know that. Okay, so I learn something new every day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So now that how many projects have you done in San Francisco? I mean, you know the city very well, right?
I actually haven't done any projects in San Francisco yet.
Oh, why would you want to move here?
I would love to live here, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's my favorite place out of all the places that I've traveled to so far.
Oh, okay. So even though it's going to be a new territory for you?
Generally new territory. I have friends and family in the area, so I've been visiting here for the past 10 years.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I noticed you have an amazing hairdresser because he's very he or she, by the way, is very artful. It's like very well done. It's like almost a piece of art.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
I don't know. Tell him or her, whatever.
Oh, yeah. I'll let her know that she's doing a very good job.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So anyway, to go back to... do you run your company the same way other project managers run their company?
Yes and no. So each business is run differently. There's a general framework that you can use to run your business with executives at the top, then general managers for each department, and then assistants and people who would do like the hard labor in each of the departments. So that's like a general framework for a business.
Okay.
But that's just one framework for the business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more a fan of using a team where everyone is able to contribute equally and everyone is able to present their own ideas. Everyone has their own responsibilities. So I would have me, who's the head of the business,
project manager,
and also the project manager. I could have a marketing person who's heading all of the marketing
for that company.
Yeah.
Not for you.
No, for my company.
Oh, for your company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I would have a finance department head who would just handle all of my finance. And well, I haven't gone that far yet. So far it's a team of 4 people. Me, my assistant, and then I contract out marketing and finance.
Okay. So it gets more complicated when you manage the contractor project because you have many contractors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that gets very complicated. So I'm wearing probably 4 different hats right now, if you will. The business manager, project manager. Right now I'm doing a lot of administrative work myself in addition to my assistant because that takes a lot of time. And I'm also making final decisions on marketing.
And your own marketing, but you don't handle your client marketing.
No, I don't handle my clients' marketing.
That would be way too much.
Way too much. I handle just the
construction
building.
project.
Yeah, just the construction of it, the building of it, and they'll handle their
own marketing.
Own marketing and promotions for this new project coming up.
Okay, because like you mentioned before, it could be big or small. Mm-hmm. Right, it could be a big company, several months, or a small project. So you don't want to bother with involving too much of your energy in their marketing.
Yeah, that's correct. But also, I can work with their marketing team. So I work with several designers and artists, and they'll provide renderings for the project to show what the final product is going to look like. So going back to the example with the sculptor is going to provide a drawing of what the final piece is going to look like. I could then take that drawing and submit it to my client's marketing team, and they can take it and run with it for their
campaign. Marketing team and see if it will go with the image of the company.
Yeah, or they could put it on a billboard and say, coming soon.
Okay. I was wondering, as everything nowadays is going digital, do you, for your own marketing, do you use anything printed or like a brochure or business card? Do you do printing or do you all do only digital?
Kind of half and half.
Ah bon? Okay.
Yeah. So I have a digital business card.
Okay.
That
you can send out.
Yeah, I can send out, or when I'm meeting someone and they want my card, I'll just show them a QR code and they'll scan it, and my contact information is automatically loaded onto their
iPhone. Okay.
Yeah.
Or you can connect with them on LinkedIn.
Or I can do that. Yeah. But some people I've found still like to have that hard copy card or brochure.
Yeah. So you have one.
I do. Mm-hmm.
So you send them the brochure so they can maybe present it to their board meeting or whatever meetings they have.
Yeah.
Or their Zoom meeting, and they can look at it, touch it, decide, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I have that. I have.
What's on your brochure? Your picture plus a couple projects you did? How does it work?
So on my brochure, it's a 8.5 by 11 printer sheet of paper.
Okay.
I have my business description, business logo, my NAICS
and
codes.
Contact info. Okay.
Yeah, contact information and references and photos of previous projects as well.
Okay, sounds like you're pretty well organized for a young woman. Only 1 year in the business, you pretty much have everything together.
I am still learning.
Oh, really? Okay.
Very grateful to my mentors who've been helping me along this process as well.
Oh, you look at their brochure, they give you advice on yours.
Yeah, they give me advice. They tell me where marketing trends are going. They tell me where construction trends are going. They also give me advice on how to manage my projects or manage my team and business. So they're very, very helpful for whenever I need advice.
To find a client, what do you do? You call them?
Yeah, actually. Cold calls or sending out emails or meeting them at all of my different networking events.
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
It's
I also
part of
have-
your job.
It's part of my job, yeah. I also have a Yelp page, and I have ad space purchased on various accounts and apps. So
It's a lot of things to manage.
Yeah.
You got to keep updated on all that.
Yep, got to keep that all updated. Design all of the ads for that. Figure out exactly where I want to go with that.
So let's say you move to San Francisco, you have to change everything on your brochure, your address, everything, or you're going to keep it as is?
I'd probably keep it as is. The only thing that I would change would be my business address.
Okay.
Just because I'm still going to be doing the same work,
Okay.
but I would just be doing it in a different city.
And you can keep your phone number as is.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, there's so many facets of business. I'm sure that there are a lot more that I haven't talked about.
Oh yeah, it seems like it's endless sometimes. Yeah.
So even, you never get bored. Once you finish with one thing, you always have something on the burner waiting to be attended to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Never get bored, but I see it as a good problem to have.
Oh yeah, it's better than
Better than actually being bored.
Yeah, they say there's nothing worse than being bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always best to keep yourself busy, but I like to have a little bit of a purpose behind it rather than just being busy.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. What's the purpose of helping construction companies?
Exactly. It's to build the community.
Oh, okay. A community of workers to work together.
Not only that, but I like to build community spaces as well. So the gardens that I'm working on right now down in Central Valley are community spaces. They're a meditation garden for a nonprofit company where people can come in and
relax
and hang out and enjoy a cup of coffee.
So it has to be well inspired.
Mm-hmm. Well inspired. I do work with a lot of designers and artists
to make it that way. To make it that way.
Yeah. But it's all.
It has to be a sense of aesthetic, a sense of community, a sense of how we're gonna blend all that together and make the project successful and appreciated by everyone. Do you test it with people before you make it final?
I do. So that's all part of the planning process.
Oh.
So I would work with architects and designers who would draft up the plans and draft up renderings. And I would show it to various people in the community and say, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
Is this a space that you would actually go to?
Yeah.
And I've solicit their advice or their opinions.
Yeah, that's very important because it might please you but not them, right?
Exactly. So it's not about me. It's about the people who are actually going to be using the space in the end.
Yes, okay, that's a good point, yeah. So you feel that as being the moderator of all this, that the end project would be a successful project because you did already ask other people what they want.
Exactly, yeah. So my clients would come to me with their idea, their vision. I would help them flesh it out. I would help them figure out exactly how they're going to use the space, who's going to use the space, and what purpose the space serves. Is it just a gathering space, or is it a place for people to feel at ease and tranquil, or is it a space for people to feel hyped up, like it's a party venue, or it's a soccer arena, or it's just a public park where people can lay out a picnic blanket. I have to consider the final purpose for what the space is going to be used for, and that's what I incorporate into all of the designs and the planning and the contractors that I bring into the project as well. I have to make sure they're aligned with that as well.
I don't know if you were in San Francisco before the pandemic, where they had so many projects all along Market Street for whether it was a parklet, they call it, where you have the plants and people can sit down outside the coffee shop, and then they had also art projects, and they had also the mini house. How do you call it? Those those
the mobile.
yeah, the
houses?
mobile, yeah, to help maybe the homeless.
Oh,
So they
yeah.
had that all along Market Street, all these projects.
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
if any of them took
I-
life. Maybe a few did, like across one Market Street. They had those little a park where places where people can sit. But a lot of these were very creative ideas, and they had to present them to the city and see if they would adopt those ideas.
Yeah. One thing that I do know that came out of the pandemic that stuck is the outdoor seating for various restaurants or coffee shops
Yeah.
that are pretty much just set on wood platforms in like parking spaces
Right.
on the street.
Right.
Those weren't around before the pandemic, or if they were very
Not that
scarce.
dismantling them.
Yeah. They're dismantling them?
I mean, those places where people used to dine outside, some restaurants are getting those out.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them, although they're allowed to keep them. You're allowed to dine out in San Francisco if you want to. But if some restaurant find it's not necessary to have them anymore, they took them down.
Yeah, I figured those would be probably the restaurants that have indoor seating already.
Right, they do. They do.
Yeah, but for the very small hole-in-the-wall coffee shop or hole-in-the-wall restaurant,
They kept them.
they kept them. Yeah, just because it seems like it's worth
Even more seating for the place, right?
More customers.
More customers, yeah. So yeah, it turns out to be a good idea for some places, yeah.
Oh yeah. It's great to have the option to sit outdoors. Some people actually prefer to sit outdoors rather than indoors.
Yeah, summertime.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but you didn't participate in that project?
No, I did not.
Okay,
No.
yeah. So anyway, you're right, where people sit on wood. It's mostly the young crowd, right? I mean, people who sit outside on wood.
I've seen people of all ages sitting outside on the on those
Parklet, temporary place.
temporary seating areas. Yeah, whether they're sitting there for lunch or if they're just sitting there to take a break or walking around.
Yeah.
I've seen all kinds of people out there.
Okay, well that's good to know. I mean, I've seen a few take them down. So, and I asked the owner why you take them down. They say people put trash in there, and so we want to get rid of them now. We don't need them 100%. But anyway, there's always something that could prevent someone from using a good feature.
Yeah, that's actually something that we have to consider with new building projects as well. Things like vandalism or break-ins or even theft.
Yeah, and how do you call it? Graffiti?
Graffiti, yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely something that we have to consider, especially if the project is going to involve a mural, something that's hand-painted, either very expensive or priceless piece of artwork.
Has to be protected.
Has to be protected, yeah. But, with things like that, when we take into consideration vandalism, there are actually finishes that you can apply to those murals where you would be able to just wash off the graffiti.
Okay. Okay, that sounds good. I think we covered enough. I mean, I don't want to give you a headache with all these questions, but pretty much I understand what you do. It must be so varied in terms of task and coordination and all that. Before you know it, it's 5 p.m. Right?
Yeah, it's like that every day.
Every day.
But I still find time to actually do what I like to do for like my personal time for leisure.
Oh, of course. You're probably a little bit of an artist yourself or something. You're outdoors person. You go hiking, things like that.
Yep, I do art. I do what's called backpacking. Through the outback. I would take 3 or 4 day long trips.
So you unwind.
Yeah. But I also have a really good friend circle who are all very supportive, and I'm able to actually take time to invest into those friendships. I'm also able to take time to do personal care and personal hobbies as well.
Yeah, feel free to refer them to me. I mean, especially the artists, they can present their art, whatever.
Oh Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, I used to start the show, I used to do all the art shows at the French Cultural Center, and then we don't see as many art galleries inviting people now to look at the art. Like maybe one in the Blue Moon, there's somebody who does an art show, but
Oh, wow.
yeah, but I mean, it has decreased to almost to nothing during the pandemic, but to go back up to what it was has been very slow.
Yeah, it's probably going to take time to get back to where it was, but I don't think it'll take too long. You know, people love art.
Yeah, that we should be able to see more art shows again.
Yes.
Although we have Union Square, they do have the art shows outdoors and stuff like that.
Plus, there's San Francisco Arts Commission. They try to
revive the arts.
Yeah, revive the arts, but also do art installations around the city too. To just make sure every blank wall is painted with a mural. There's sculptures everywhere.
Murals attract the tourists, and they go in on these alleys and take photography and all that. Yeah, so it's a good idea because it does attract visitors to our city.
It does, but it also makes the residents of the city feel happier too. You know, they see a splash of color on a very overcast, cloudy day, and it makes them happier, makes them look and feel intrigued.
Oh yeah. I never thought about that, but it's a good point. Yeah. So anything that's art brings a lot of value to a city.
Oh yeah. That's why I've incorporated art into
all your projects.
All of my projects. Yeah, I work with painters, muralists, sculptors, mosaic artists, landscape designers too. You can design a very beautifully done garden that almost looks like it's its own art piece too.
Awesome. Although art could take many forms, could be a performance also, but that's other things. Maybe for the closing party.
Yeah, for the people who would actually use the space. I could design the theater, and then the theater managers and the playwrights could then come
something
in.
like that, yeah. So that's been good, very informative for sure. Thank you so much for opening up and letting us know about this particular area that I never really presented here.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, this is very, very special. I mean, usually we get, the usual professions, but you are very, very unusual, and also from a woman's point of view, it's very good to hear from you. So I enjoyed talking to you. I appreciate you taking the time to answer, and hopefully I'll attend one of your openings one day.
Oh yeah, I would love to have you, and thank you so much for inviting me. I love talking about what I do and sharing a little bit about how I do it as well.
Yeah, this will air in San Francisco, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because this
Lovely.
is part of the City of San Francisco station, so you will air primarily in San Francisco, and then it will go, it's also streamed online for other cities to watch. So thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Glad to be here.